everyone. Welcome to today's podcast of MBA Interns Connect. And today I have my lovely guest, Juliana. She is also one of the MBA intern here at Microsoft, and she's going to be sharing some of her journey, some of her tips as an international student. As an international student here in the United States, doing our MBA here at Microsoft. How are you doing?
Hi, Tammy. Thank you for having me here.
How was your day today?
It was amazing. The day is cloudy, but the day has been really great.
Yeah, it has been raining for the past 2 days, right? And today is a bit sunny.
Yeah.
What would you say about the weather so far?
Well, so far has been great, the weather. I really like it. There is no humidity in summer here, and it's very nice just going out for a run.
Yeah, the summer has been, summer here in Redmond has been really cool, right? I know they usually say that the weather is like a bit very frosty and the rest. And run, right? So you do run every day?
Most of the days.
Oh, okay, most of the days. For like 3 days I've not run. I've not run. I've been a little bit down mentally, but I'm going to start my running back. I'm definitely going to start my running back.
You also need to rest, so it's good. True. Like balancing.
True. So how's been your project so far? You have your 10th week, right?
Yes. My project has been great. Mm-hmm. I've been working in core product, and it has been really nice. It has been a great opportunity to meet a lot of people, meet a lot of stakeholders. My project requires a lot to finding the right people to get the information and learn.
Yeah, that's true. So let's dive deep into your background, right? Can you tell me a little bit about what you were doing before MBA, and why did you decide when did you decide and why did you decide that you want to pursue MBA last year fall?
Okay, sure. So I'm originally from Colombia.
Okay.
My background, my undergrad is in industrial design. So back then, 10 years ago, I decided to study industrial design. Okay. And I love design. However, when I was trying to find a job, it was very hard, finding a good job in terms of pay. So that was one of the main reasons I started trying to find a solution to my career, and I joined general consulting.
Wow.
And when I joined general consulting, it was in a specialist role. So I was there like a business designer for 4.5 years. And I worked across the globe. I started in Colombia, then I moved to Canada, to Montreal. And after that, after getting some empiric experience of business, I was like, you know what? I actually want to understand the theory of business.
Okay.
I have the experience, I have design, but I would love to speak the language of business. And that was one of the biggest triggers to look for an MBA. And I wanted to live in the US. So I can say there are 3 main reasons. The first one, that my background design to some extent pushed me to get to know about business. I think everyone, no matter what you study, needs to speak business language.
True.
The second one was trying to live and have an opportunity in the US. And the third one, because in consulting you have long hours, I wanted a break.
Yeah. There's a friend of mine that told me that in consulting, there's no timing for your work. You work as you get the work. So you're working from 9 to 9, 9 to 12. So you're consulting and it's continuous and continuous. I see the reason why they're making so much money in consulting.
Well, long hours.
Long hours, long money. All right. So what actually motivated you to apply to Microsoft?
So in my previous job, I was doing product strategy. So what I was doing was identifying opportunities in the market, understanding customer needs, product needs, and defining the product. But at the end, something that happens in consulting is that each 6 weeks, each 10 weeks, you change project. And I love the strategy, but I wanted for the first or second time in my life, work for a specific product.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to understand how big corporations work and also the tech industry. So that was the main motivator to move to Microsoft. And also I think Microsoft, something that I really liked was that when I was looking for tech jobs, I really clicked with the company culture and vision and the thing that they empower, the idea that empower every human
to achieve more.
Earth to achieve more.
Yeah. That's a very big vision. Empower everyone and every organizations to achieve more. That's a very, very big mission statement. All right. So what would you say that when did you start your internship application period? Because you started your school in August, right? Yeah. So when did you start thinking, okay, I need to start looking for internship for the summer period? When did you start and what resources did you use?
Yeah, so in my head, like when I applied to the MBA, I was not aware of how big was the recruiting thing. So an advice would be like, recruiting is important. But when I joined the MBA, like the school immediately starts to speak to you about recruiting. And before you join the MBA, at least Cornell starts telling you like, hey, start working on your resume, start looking companies. So that's something I started doing before. But once you start, everything starts hitting. And then like, join the club, join this, join that.
Yeah.
And then
so many information start coming in.
Yeah, too much information. And with tech, actually is ad hoc. So I think the earlier you try apply, the better. So Microsoft is I think is one of the tech companies that starts recruiting much more earlier than others. And that's something that I would say, like, if you want to have the opportunity to join this company, you need to be prepared.
So you said that you actually started your application. You started preparing before you came in. You started like wrapping your resume, dusting, getting cover letters, and looking out for actually different companies and different tech. So did you only apply to tech, or did you spread? As an international student, right? You have like visa compliance, H1B sponsorship, and all the rest. Did you only look at tech, or you looked at consulting, you looked at CPG or other areas?
So because I came from consulting, I didn't want the consulting or investment banking life. However, like if it was my last resource, I would do it. But I mostly looked in tech and CPGs. However, like for internationals, CPGs have less opportunity than tech.
True.
And tech, by default, you need to very likely go to the big ones to get a sponsorship.
Yeah, true. So what resources did you use in application, right? Did you was it LinkedIn, or did your school has like this portal where only students there? What resources did you use?
So I used different resources. The first resource I used was like the Cornell has a portal.
Okay.
They have it, but it's not that they are like they post like the big companies. So you need to be very proactive. On the other hand, I did like an Excel with the list of companies I was interested in, and I blocked my calendar in my Outlook to do recruiting. And in that block, I was like constantly, at least each week, checking the companies that were the top 10 to me if they had job offers. You could also like sign up for like stay tuned. For example, in Spotify, you could sign up to say when they open
for their newsletters.
Exactly. And then at the same time, I was very active in the high tech club in Cornell. They provide you like really good resources with some, it's called CWG, that are like groups of second years that help you to prepare for the behaviorals, they give you feedback on your resume. And on top of that, something that it really helped me was speaking at least with ex-consultant friends that were graduating.
Okay.
That they shared many of their tips and tricks. They were from other schools, but they also shared like different things that helped me understand like what I was facing. And the other piece that helped a lot was also using online tools. So for example, like for prep. So for example, for the curriculum, like Cornell provided us a tool that you could check like the format of your curriculum to see if it resonates with the test of the robots. And there was another website I used, for example, that is called JobScan. What I did there was putting the employer job description and my curriculum. and then it says how much it matched, and that helped a lot.
Okay, what's the name of it again?
Job scan.
Okay, job scan. All right. Wow, that's so much resources. Like, I was like, how did I not know about all this? So like, it's so good, right? One of the things or two things I actually learned or I actually enjoyed from what you said is that number one is that you have an Excel format of the companies that you're looking for. It made you being focused, and the time you blocked in your calendar so that you could go there and kind of look at what they are doing, look at for updates, right? It helped you, being so focused. And also, you mentioned about utilizing the resources of people, right? People are like our number one assets. Like they were our number one asset. So utilizing the second years and basically using those people are very important. Like I really enjoyed the insight you shared and your value. So when did you get the feedback from Microsoft? When did you apply? When did you hit the submit button, and when did you get the feedback?
So I hit the submit button that day of the deadline of the first cut. It was like 29th of 30th of September,
Wow.
2023. Like it was at midnight. It was like 11 p.m. that I did that because I wanted to ensure like my resume was strong enough. Mm-hmm. So many second years actually gave me like good feedback, and I had it prepared. And then once I hit it, mid of October, I got called for the interview, and then I did the interview end of October or something like that. Mm-hmm. But I had my offer like in November.
Okay.
Or something like that.
All right. Hi everyone. I know that you're enjoying the Interns Connect Show. From our analytics, we noticed that 90% of you all that are listening have not yet subscribed. So what I want you guys to do for me right now, I want you to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and drop a comment for us, because this will help us improve the show and give you valuable content. Thank you guys. Go hit the subscribe button right now. See you soon. So now let's talk about the interview, right? When you got the notification in mid of October that they would love to interview you, right? How did you prepare for the interview? What resources did you use in your preparation?
Yeah, so for me, I think I have different points there that might help. So as soon as I got that job interview scheduled, the first thing I did was reaching out the people, like the second years that I already had bonding, that were like in my group, that they were helping me. I reached out to one of like other that was like my mentor, that like people that I thought they were like very helpful since the beginning. True. And I reached out to Cornell alumni in Microsoft. Oh, wow. And they were very helpful. Like leveraging on your alumni network, I think is something that can help. And with those things, I started like preparing the main questions. Like I prepared my pitch, I prepared like why Microsoft, I prepared like why tech, why product management, and then I prepared for the behaviorals. At the end, I did all that, and I did like dry runs, behaviorals with these people. Yeah. Like with the Cornell. Yeah, mock-up interviews with Cornell, like second year Cornell. Yeah. But what helped me a lot actually was the feedback from them. And another thing I'm gonna say you later, but what helped with them was that it was not only about preparing for the questions, it was like about how since the beginning you connect your pitch to all the answers. So but how you tell yourself is what is gonna connect with the behaviorals. Yeah. So something I did, for example, in my pitch was telling about myself, but each time I tell about myself, and then in the question of why Microsoft, my answers of why Microsoft were connected with my pitch. True. So I did all that outline. I ensure was quite cohesive. So in the moment of telling the story, it was very likely that the questions that they were making behaviorals were connected to that. Wow. So that's something that helped a lot, and it helped me to stay focused. And the other thing that helped me a lot, and this is more for internationals and advice, like I had like previous working experience for 4 years in the US, and it works totally different. So understanding since the day one, like the cultural nuances, I think is very valid. So just to give you a tangible example, like in my culture in Colombia, that when you're doing like behaviorals or introducing yourself, like is much more value to be humble. But here you need to show confidence.
Yeah,
so
you have to
understanding those nuances of the cultures is very interesting because it's gonna shorten your learning curve and it's gonna allow you to lose less opportunities.
Yeah.
Because many times, because of your cultural things that you need to adapt to here, you lose opportunities. Like for example, not showing confidence.
Yeah.
Or another example is like being explicit versus implicit. So something that helped me a lot was reading a book. Like I work in the past in the US, but I read a book that is called The Culture Map. Okay. And I found it very valuable.
Wow. That's so much insight. That's so much insight. Like building your story and how your story went through, trying to like relate it down to the behavioral question. Did you have any technical questions? Because I know some people did, some people had just behavioral.
No, only behavioral.
So that means you didn't prepare for technical questions?
No.
Okay.
I only did behavioral. However, like I did things like recording myself practicing, and that's annoying, but you need to practice,
Exactly, you need to practice. You need to practice because you have just one shot to actually give your best. So no matter how much you practice, it's still good as far as you get it. So how did you feel when you got the email that, hey, congratulations, you'll be an intern? How was that feeling that day?
I felt very happy and excited for the huge opportunity. I didn't realize how big was the opportunity I was having. True. Because I feel very, very grateful. But I think it was also like that preparation that helps you to be more confident. And something I would say is like, of course, you need to follow like structures and guidelines, True. But be yourself. And always say something memorable that like that person probably is not gonna remember you that you're from Cornell. It's gonna remember you from something very specific.
Very exactly. Good. Very good. So like share your stories, make your stories, because one thing I know is that everybody have unique stories, right? The way I'm going to tell my story of maybe growing up in Nigeria or how I came from Nigeria to US will be different from you growing up in Colombia and how you moved from Colombia to Montreal. Every one of us, our stories are unique, and that's what makes us unique individuals, right? All right. So this is 10th week for you. How has it been your experience being in Microsoft for the past 10 weeks?
The experience has been great. For me, I have been valuing a lot the fact of having work-life balance or well-being, just because I came from consulting. So it has been also an exercise of having a mindset of having life, not only work. So I've been very happy here because I feel like the internship, yes, you need to deliver your project. That's what's matter. But the fact that you can also spend time learning new things, doing that growth mindset, meeting new people at the same time, that is also learning that can be used for your personal life or projects. So I really like how the experience has been and how well structured.
Yeah. So what's one rewarding experience one memorable experience that you had that's very rewarding for you for the past 10 weeks?
For me, I've been very surprised and happy the fact that people have been super open and responsive. At the end, when you're delivering a project, it's not you with you, it's with people. So meeting people has been rewarding. I feel like each time I have a conversation with someone, I learn something new, and I have met a lot of people that has very interesting hobbies, and it makes me very curious to learn more about it. So I've met people that for example, I met a person that is already running his 6th marathon. Wow. And gonna get the medal of the elite marathons. I have met people that like doing hikings in mountains. So it has been very rewarding, that piece, and the fact of learning of such a huge company is always something new.
Okay. All right. So what advice would you have for, let's say, future interns looking at Microsoft? Maybe people, MBAs or undergrads that are looking at Microsoft or maybe other tech companies. What advice would you want to give to them from your experience?
From already working, or
from your experience, from your application, like what they should look out for, right?
Okay.
Looking at applying. wanting to get into a tech companies?
So, for example, like I feel like if you want to be product management, prepare or do something that in your resume says product management. Because I know there are some companies that if it doesn't says in your resume product management, they're gonna probably not look to your resume.
Yeah,
so
keyword.
Yeah, if you want to change career to product management, like try to do that to make that change. I would say that is something very important. Secondly, like try to apply as soon as possible.
Yeah.
I feel like these companies receive a lot of applications, so the faster the better. But of course, get the best advice, specifically if you're international, of putting those confident, being confident numbers in your resume and in preparing. And and chat with people. Like there are many nuances that unless you reach out to people, you don't get to know.
Yeah.
During the internship, I believe like get prepared, but in the sense like not like working the weekends, but when you arrive the day one, just be proactive. I would say present a project plan to your manager, set the expectations, be as direct and clear as possible. And ask questions. I think asking questions is the best way to solve things.
Okay. So before we wrap up, right, do you have any last words that you want to give? Maybe one word or two words that you want to add to everything you've said. You've said a lot of insight. Like, is there anything you want to wrap up?
Yeah. So first, as an international, yes, recruiting is tough, and I feel like for everyone, the best you can do is get to understand the American culture before, so the learning curve when you arrive to this country is much shorter.
Yeah.
Get to the point on that feedback of being confident or asking questions or ask for time, like ask people, use resources.
Yeah.
And then enjoy. Like it's a very good process. Of course, you're gonna be like you get stressed out, but if you're focused and organize your time, just trust the process. And then when you're in the internship, yes, deliver that project, but also enjoy connecting with people.
True, connecting with people, because that's one of the reasons why you're here. Because one of the things that they say here at Microsoft is that it's the people you connect with that will definitely matters and they'll speak for you, right? I learned that because connecting with my manager has been one of the best things that happened to me in my projects, because my manager has been able to like push me forward. She has been able to like my manager was the first person to introduce me to my VP. Right? Do you remember the time we had we had a team meeting and my manager introduced me to my VP that, hey, this is my team, this is my intern in our team and the rest. And I felt so happy that week. It was really a good time. So I want to say thank you for all the insight that you shared, specifically to international students, because a lot of challenges are going through with international students that most people don't really talk enough. But you've been able to break it down, talking about learning the nuances, learning about the culture, being confident, right? People come into United States and they are very timid, they are very shy, but that is not how you excel in the United States. It's your boldness. They want to see that you're confident in yourself, you believe in yourself before people will believe in you. So that's a very, very, very key valuable insight. And I believe that those that are listening to the podcast today, they will definitely get some valuable insight. And thank you very much for coming. And I'm wishing you the very best in your final project, and definitely you're going to get the return offer so that we are going to come in and celebrate together. Thank you very much for coming, and thank you guys for listening. Hopefully, we'll join in the next episode where we are going to be calling or inviting some of the successful interns to come share their journey. Thanks, guys, for joining. Have an amazing day.
Thank you.